Dr. Ed Jeremiah Flavidam Fernando Virginia Escalante, a.k.a. the greatest ninja sensei guy.
Ed.
Continue.
Ed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. What's up, TJ? Okay. So, just really quick, my credits and stuff like that. Probably most well known for Naruto, Hinata in Naruto, Oirihime in Bleach, Eureka and Eureka 7, Mikuru and Haruhi, and then
Himeko.
Himeko. It's not that well known. I did a show called The Destiny of the Shrine Maiden, or Kanazuki no Miko, and I played it Himeko. It's a lot of lesbian action.
Ooh, should start watching that.
And then Mamimi and Furikuri, also known as FLCL. And what other?
Oh my Buddha.
Oh my Buddha! This guy who's watching the most.
You rock.
You rock. It's the most random anime. It's like stuff that people don't watch.
And Akira from Lucky Star.
Yes, Akira from Lucky
Star.
So, I'll just start out talking more about, like, what do you guys want to know mostly?
Are you single?
I'm not married.
How can you have different names?
Oh, you know what? I don't use different names anymore. I used to use a lot of different names. Sometimes I do. When I started out, a lot of people want to know how to become a voice actor, right?
Yeah.
So the traditional way is be an actor, train, be good, prepare yourself, all that stuff, work on your voices, and then you must have a demo, a CD demo. Should be no longer than 2 minutes. I actually suggest 1 minute. Have a lot of your different voices. Don't do impressions. You know, if you were a writer or have a friend that's a writer, write your own stuff. That's much better. You don't want anything too recognizable, because if you're doing something like Homer Simpson, you're doing something like Naruto, whatever, people know that you didn't do that part. So don't put it on the demo. The demo should sound like you actually got hired for that part. Or that
original.
Yes. So if it doesn't have to be original text or original copy, as long as it's not recognizable, you know. But if you have a friend that writes, it's good to like write your own stuff, then it's more specific and things like that. And have a demo, get an agent, you know, for the places that don't go through agencies, try to get a referral or walk in there, hand them your demo, and if you don't have experience, do things to create experience. This is what I say about fandom. There's a lot of stuff in fandom that can give you experience. Be very careful about that, because there is stigma in terms of being from fandom. I think people love it when the actors and the creative team are fans of the work, but you just be careful about how fanboy-y or fangirly you are, because there's a little bit of the feeling that maybe you're not going to be as professional if you're too fanish. So if you do fan dubs and stuff like that, that's great, but then you advertise that you do it. Once you start becoming a professional, I would suggest that you really limit that part of your life, just because the thing with fan subs more, you know, it's more of a thing, but with fan dubs, it's like, it's not licensed, so you don't have the right to work on that material. I get that it's just for fun and for promotion and stuff like that, but once you become a professional, it's a big no-no, because it's technically illegal. So you don't want to be out there doing illegal stuff if you want to be a professional. That's why I say, once you start kind of branching into a more professional realm, you kind of want to just be careful about that stuff and be aware of that kind of stuff. And I say that being a fan, you know, like having come from a fandom place. So in terms of like my own personal story about how I got into voice acting is, I'll even tell you how I got into anime. I was in college at UCLA. I was writing for the Daily Bruin, which is a newspaper, and my editor said, hey, this anime thing seems to be really popular. Go do an article on the anime club. And I was like, all right. And there's this place called, at UCLA, the Kirchhoff Hall is like where the main office is where all the clubs is, you know. So I went there, and I looked at the roster of who was in charge, and I called that phone number, and all the phone numbers for the officers were all not valid. I think it was an old list, or it was a list was from people who graduated or something like that. So I'm like, oh, great. How am I supposed to find this anime club? I don't know. I'm like walking on Bruin Walk, and then all of a sudden I see a sign, and it's the anime club. And they're like, come join our club, you know, meeting is tonight. And I'm like, oh, great, because I had a midterm the next day. And I was a crammer, which means I didn't plan on, I hadn't started studying, and I was going to study that night for my midterm the next day. I don't recommend it. But 3 freaking hours? What do you do for 3 freaking hours, you know? And in my mind, I think, you know, when I thought of club, I feel like, you know, it's a meeting, you have minutes, you talk about things, you know, like, so I'm like, what are they talking about 3 freaking hours? So I go to the meeting, and I talk to the president, and I said, I have the Daily Burn, and we're doing an article on the Anime Club, so if you know, can make an announcement or interview people afterwards, that'd be great. He's like, okay. So he gets up, I'm sitting in the audience, and there's a lot of people there. It's like a couple hundred. Sitting there, and come on in and grab a seat, and get close up if you want. You don't have to, but this is so intimate, we're making it very intimate. I mean, you can sit in the corner if you want, but what's so fun in that? So I'm just going over the story about like how I got into anime and how I became a voice actor and stuff like that. So, say that again?
Which means actor, not actor, because you're a guy.
You know what? I think it's not so specific. I think when you say like actor, it means actor or actress.
Okay.
Definitely you're not going to use actress for a dude, but I'll say actor because I feel like it's there's some other gender neutral, you know, like flight attendant could be a guy or a girl. You know, that's how I feel, you know.
Nurse.
But anyway, so I'll use the mic, I guess. There's more people. So where was I? Okay, so I'm at the UCLA Anime Club. I'm doing an article. This is my first experience with anime. I have a midterm the next day. The meeting's 3 hours long. I'm really upset that I have to go to this meeting and sit through for 3 hours. So Naki, the president, then gets on the mic or the stage and he says, okay, everybody settle down. We're starting the meeting. Today we're watching Escaflowne, Evangelion, Slayers, and Marmalade Boy. Oh, and there's somebody here from the newspaper, so if you want to be interviewed, just come on up afterwards and you can talk to her. That's it. The lights dim and they just start showing anime for the next, 3 hours. So I was like, holy crap. And are you guys familiar with those shows at all?
Yeah.
So FYI, they showed the very first episode of Evangelion, which ends in a terrible cliffhanger. Then they showed the very second episode of Escaflowne, which, if you've seen that, ends in a horrible cliffhanger. And so everything was like, I sat there and I was like, fuck. I'm like, I have to come back next week. Damn it! So I interviewed people, and yes, I started regularly attending. And then, I think most new fans know that, once you start getting into it, you can't get it fast enough. And I was like, I'm just wait an entire week to get my anime fix. So I was, scoping out the officers and who I interviewed, and there's this girl named Artist, and she was very bubbly and cute, and, it seemed from, what I could tell that she would have a large anime collection. I was like, this is my master evil plan. I'm going to befriend Artist, and then she will loan me all her tapes. And then I will get access to free anime. So that's what I did, actually. And Artist and I are still very good friends. And we actually ended up both working in the industry. And we're still friends to this day. We lived together for a little bit. But, so that's how I got into anime. And so I was a fan first, and I'd always been an actor. So, into acting, I was doing sketch comedy, I would have been in plays, and all sorts of stuff. And I would watch all the stuff we showed with the subtitles at the Anime Club. And then I started renting stuff from video, in the video stores. And back then it was VHS, so it was dub or sub. You didn't have a DVD, you had to pick between the two. And so I was like, okay, I'll just see what it's like, what the dub sounds like. I was not happy. I did not think that they were very good. The only dub that I actually liked at that time was Ranma 1/2. It was the only dub that was the only thing that I would actually watch the dub of. Everything else, I was like, oh my god, I can't take it. And I had very low self-esteem. So I thought to myself, well, I don't know if I'm a very good actor or not. Come on down, you guys, get close. I don't know if I'm a very good actor or not, but I'm pretty sure I can do better than that. So, and I was like, I'm not even sure if I can do better than that, but I'm pretty sure I can match that level of performance.